Hello and welcome to Firstpost special broadcast. India has successfully targeted and hit terror camps and hubs in Pakistan, avenging the April 22nd Pahalgam attack. For more on this, we are now joined by Bob Blackman, who is a Conservative MP at the UK Parliament. Bob, welcome to Firstpost.
Thank you.
In the wake of India's strike on Pakistan terror bases and recently with India's strike on Pak air defense bases, is there a risk of further escalation with Pakistan?
Well, there's always a risk of further escalation. The reality is that India suffered a terrorist atrocity on the 22nd of April. India took diplomatic means in terms of closing the border, in terms of revoking the right of the visas for Pakistani nationals to be in India, to encourage those Indians that are in Pakistan to return to India, and indeed, of course, suspended the Indus Valley Water Treaty. And India made clear to Pakistan that the terrorist bases need to be removed from the line of control, and indeed terrorism halted into India. That hasn't happened, and so obviously India has now struck those terrorist bases. I believe 9 different bases just inside the line of control, and destroyed much of the terrorist infrastructure. Clearly, Pakistan may retaliate. What I would suggest is that both sides now say we've delivered a measured response, and let us end that, encourage Pakistan to do the right thing, and that is to stop promoting terrorism from the illegally occupied part of Kashmir that Pakistan currently occupies, and ensure that the security of the valley is maintained.
Several countries have offered to help ease tensions, but now with tensions already escalating by the hour, do you think an intervention will be needed anytime soon?
Well, the reality is that India, as I understand it, India has certainly put a position to the United Nations Security Council, given the evidence of what they've been able to gain about these terrorist operations, and encourage countries from around the world, including, of course, the members of the Security Council, to give support to what India has done. I think Pakistan needs to come clean. They've almost admitted that they've been sponsoring terrorism for 30 years. So from that perspective, they are caught up in this, and they are complicit in the terrorist activities. So what we now have to do is operate in a proper fashion and say, look, let's end this terrorism once and for all. And then the countries don't need to go to war. If there's an escalation, then clearly there'll be real concern about how much action is being taken and what the consequences are. Because if there's an all-out war between India and Pakistan, no one will gain. There'll be horrendous civilian casualties.
Yesterday, British MP Priti Patel backed India's Operation Sindoor and said India has the right to defend against terror. What is your take on that?
Absolutely right. And indeed, former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has released a tweet saying exactly the same thing. We strongly support that, and we should be ensuring that terrorism has no way of operating, and India had absolutely the right to retaliate and deal with the terrorists accordingly. And so Priti and Rishi have both given very strong statements that I thoroughly endorse, and I hope the UK government will endorse those statements as well.
And finally, how do you view Prime Minister Narendra Modi's approach to combating terrorism?
Well, he's been very clear that the terrorists themselves will be pursued to the end of the world, that those that support the terrorists that have been backing them for so long will be punished, and we'll have a position whereby terrorism is eradicated. And I think the whole world, free world, will support that measure.
That was Bob Blackman, who is a Conservative MP at the UK Parliament. Bob, thank you so much for speaking to Firstpost.
Thank you.